Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a long-awaited music collection update video. I haven't done one of these since I think probably before Christmas, this past last December, and I got a bit of stuff right here. Just got like a stack of CDs right here. I got a stack of them all right here, and funny enough, I have one cassette right here. So I'm just gonna blow through it all and showcase what I got in the last few months. Let's just start with this cassette. I actually got this yesterday from a Sumerian Records. It's from a band that, well, I think I've mentioned this before. It wasn't until for many years, I could never got into this band. For some reason, it just never clicked with me. But it wasn't until 2024, 2 years ago, where they released their comeback album. And I was like, wow, this is actually really good. So I went and checked out some of their other stuff. That's actually good. And I'm talking about the band Kitty. I got their latest album, Fire, which came out in 2024. It's on cassette. I don't really collect much cassettes because obviously I don't have a tape player, but it's really good. If you aren't familiar with Kitty, they're a metal band based out of Canada. Been around since the 90s. This is a cassette I have. It's a red tape right here, and I'm actually going to see them twice this year. I'm going to see them in June they're playing at the Masquerade with King of Giants. I forget the other band. I'm going there, and I'm actually for the first time going to go to Sick New World in October in Fort Worth, Texas. So it'll be the first time seeing a show or festival in Texas. So if anybody's going to either of those, I'll see you there. So that's the only cassette I have. Now we're on to the CDs. I have like a stack about this big. So we'll just start this off with the Portals by Arsonists Get All the Girls. If you aren't familiar with this band, they're a deathcore metalcore band based out of California. This is the second album I have in their collection. I had their album before this, The Game of Life. And I just hate that this comes in this fucking paper digi-sleeve right here. I think this is a reissue that came out in 2023, but it's a good album. I kind of dig this. I definitely need to listen to more of Arsonists Get Off the Girls, in my opinion. I'll just put this back in here. Next up, I have Beartooth with their Sick EP. Pretty good EP. I had pretty much the main full lengths. I just really wanted to get this EP. It just came out in 2013. Really great post-hardcore release. And next up I got the band What Demons Do to Saints by Beneath the Sky. If you aren't familiar with Beneath the Sky, they're sort of a deathcore metalcore band from, I think they're from California. I'm not mistaken. This is their first album. I had their last two albums. It's a shame these guys called it quits. I thought they were one of the better bands. It came out through Victory Records in 2007. Hardly this album is now almost 20 years old, which is kind of crazy. Moving on to, well, it's an album that came out last year. I got Through Shadows by my friends in Born Osiris. Really great album. Definitely Ronnie and Cam, the boys, really stepped up. I got this used actually at CD Warehouse in Marietta. Pretty good album. They're actually going to see them with All That Remains in May. So if anybody's going to that, I hope to see you all there. Just go and put this away. Right over in here. Anyway, moving on to two CDs from the same band. I'm talking about the band Currents. If you aren't familiar with Currents, they're a metalcore band based out of Connecticut. I had two of their full lengths. I'm missing one of their full lengths, but I have two of their EPs right here. I have their one EP that came out, I think it was 2018. I Let the Devil In. It's pretty good. As you can see, it's signed by the band. I actually saw them about 2 weeks ago with Era, and it's good. And I have their new EP that came out this year, All That Follows. Really good EP. I think Currents is, in my opinion, is a very underrated metalcore band. I just wish more people would talk about them, in my opinion. Next up, I got Edge of Sanity with Purgatory Afterglow. This is a reissue that Century Media put out in 2024. It's actually two CDs. First CD is like a remaster, and then there's a second CD that has a remix right here. I just love this album. I have two of their albums right here. So this is the third album I have of theirs in my collection, and I just love this song. Black Tears, definitely one of my favorite Edge of Sanity songs. I've heard like Heaven Shall Burn covered that song, but I just finally heard the original. It's just really great. Next up, we have 18 Visions with Until the Ink Runs Out. This one right here, if you're familiar with 18 Visions, they're a metalcore band from California. It basically has a Brendan Schippetti, has some of the from Bleeding Through is in this band. It's a really great album. I just definitely need to try to pick up some more 18 Visions at some point. Moving on to a new 2026 album. I have the new Era album, Silence Outlives the Earth, right here. If you're familiar with Era, they're a metalcore band or progressive metalcore band from Alabama. These guys been around for over 15 years, and I just think that's a really good EP. Got this sign from when I saw them with Currents a couple weeks ago. Really good album. I think they can do no wrong, although I do prefer like their older stuff like Impulse and Augment. Next up, we have From Autumn to Ashes, Too Bad You're Beautiful. This one is a new one to the collection. I'm talking about Godrot. This is their this is a self-released album which came out in 2022. If you're familiar with Godrot, this is a kind of like a doom sludgy kind of death metal band from Florida. This is it's pretty much a self-released thing. I'm actually friends with them. They're back with the band members, and this is their bass player Sandra, who's actually a friend of mine. She actually works the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise. It was when I saw the last two times I went. She was there, and we became friends. And I discovered her band. It's really good. So if you haven't heard of Godrot, check them out. Next up, I got Wherever It May Take by Heaven Shall Burn, another album of theirs in their discography. I think I only need 4 or 5 more their albums till I have them all. Really great band. I definitely really wish I could want to see them live. I'm hoping sooner than later. Moving on to From Ashes from Hell Hath Fury. If you aren't familiar with Hell Hath Fury, they're sort of a local band. They're a melodic death metal band based out of Denver, Colorado. I'm friends with their bass player Sarah. Her and her husband Zach is in that band. So, and I actually had CDs as a guest. She sent me it for free, and it actually came signed. They're really great. They're actually pretty good. So if you haven't heard of them, check them out. Anyway, moving on to the 2 CDs. Like I mentioned, like I had the cassette, but I want to talk about the Kitty. I have one of their albums that came out in 2009. Called In the Black right here. So really good album. I actually love the song Cutthroat. That's definitely one of my favorite songs. Also like My Plague, Forgive and Forget. Really good. And of course I got the album on CD as well. It's a digipack right here. Really great album. I definitely need like a few of their more albums, and I pretty much have their discography. Next up, we got the new album that came out this year, Crushers of the World by Creator. Really good album. This is actually a 2 CD right here. First CD is just the album. The second CD is just Crushing Classics 1985 to 1990. It was actually recorded at the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise in 2023, the year before I started finally going. So I wish I could have seen that. But I heard my buddy Justin, who you've seen in some of my vlogs, he actually went to that cruise. So it's pretty cool to hear that. So, but pretty good album. Next up, I got The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead by Megadeth, their previous album. I have got the self-titled album, but there's like a delay because I got like the signed booklet and stuff. But I heard there was like a shortage, so they're trying to wait till they find one. But overall, this is a pretty solid album. As you can see, you could tell well, it has Dave Mustaine's signature right there. It's pretty good. Anyway, moving on to the next 5 albums I needed to complete their discography. And I'm talking about the band Nevermore. If you aren't familiar with Nevermore, they're kind of a progressive kind of heavy metal band from Washington State. I just needed their first 5 albums. I had their last 3 albums, and just in preparation because they now recently got back together, and I'm actually going to see them in September. They're playing the Prog Power Festival in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm only going to go to day 3 just to see that, but got their 5 albums right here. A couple of these are reissues, I believe, from Century Media in 23, but this one's original press. I have the self-titled In Memory. This is kind of the gold disc edition, which actually has some bonus tracks from like some demos and stuff. The Politics of Ecstasy, Dead Heart in a Dead World, and Dreaming Neon Black. Next up, we got Norma Jean, the Anti-Mother. Another 2026 album to have. I have the new Of Sulfur album. There's Endless. Really good. If you aren't familiar with Of Sulfur, they're kind of a symphonic kind of deathcore band from Las Vegas. Really great band. I'm actually going to see them on Tuesday, playing the day after my birthday. They with Orbit Culture and Atlas. So if anybody's going to that, see you there. Next up, I got Poison the Well, Tear from the Red. Anyway, moving on to the next 4 albums are from the same band. I completed their discography. I'm talking about the band Sinister. If you aren't familiar with Sinister, they're a death metal band from the Netherlands. Been around since the late 80s, early 90s. I have 4 albums I need to complete their discography. First off, we're talking about The Silent Howling. This is a reissue from Massacre Records. It's a digipack right here. Then I have Legacy of Ashes, The Carnage Ending, and Syncretism. Probably butchered that. Anyway, moving on, I got 3 albums I've completed their discography, including their new album, which came out today. Talking about the band Sylosis. If you're familiar with Sylosis, they're kind of a melodic thrash death metal band from the UK. Got 3 of their albums. First off, I have Monolith, which came out in 2012. It's a digipack right here. I have A Sign of Things to Come, and their new album, The New Flesh. Really good album and a really great band. I'm actually going to see them in May. They're playing with Bleed From Within at the Masquerade May 2nd. So if anybody's going to that, I hope to see you there. Anyway, moving on to another new band to the collection. I'm talking about the band Torn From Existence with their album Hearken the Darkened Skies. If you aren't familiar with Torn From Existence, they're a kind of like a symphonic melodic black metal band from Colorado. This is their first full length, which came out in 2024. Before I open it up, here's the band members. I'm actually know their bass player Ria. She's actually a friend of mine. I've interviewed her before. If you haven't checked this band out, give it a listen. Next up, album that came out last year, Fire Upon Your Lands by Unleashed. Really great death metal from Sweden. I just think Johnny and the boys can't do no wrong. Really want to see them again. I've only seen Unleashed twice. I saw them last year at Maryland Death Fest, so they're a really great band. Another band that I'm also going to see in Maryland Death Fest I haven't seen since 2019. I'm talking about Wolfheart with their latest album, Draconian Darkness, which came out in 2024. Really great album. It's a digipack right here. It's a great band. One of the best melodic death metal bands from Finland. And last CD is a very underrated metalcore band. I'm talking about the band Zao. I have the self-titled right here. I'm definitely trying to get more into Zao. I got all their stuff. It's finally I own something from them. So if you haven't heard of Zao, check them out. They've been around since like the early 90s. These are from Pennsylvania, I believe. I could be wrong. But that's all the CDs right here. Now on to the vinyls. And so I'll showcase the vinyl right here. These first 2 are from the same band. I'm almost have their stuff on vinyl. I have everything on CD, but I just need the vinyls. Talking about Amon Amarth. I have the first one I want to talk about is Searcher Rising. Love this album. I think this is a reissue that came out in 2022 under Metal Blade Records with Corporation with Church of Vinyl. It's just interesting. It's a pop-up vinyl. When I open the sleeve, you could tell this it's a pop-up, and it's just a simple black vinyl, but I like that. And the same thing, I have another Amon Amarth album right here, Deceiver of the Gods, one of my favorite albums from 2013. Kind of the similar scenario. Open it up, another pop-up right here, and I think this one might be it's colored right here. Yep, it's sort of a blue with white splatter right here, and it's pretty awesome. So put that there, and I'm actually going to see Amon Amarth in May. They're playing with Deathclock, and I'm really looking forward to that. I've never seen Deathclock live, but I really love to see Amon Amarth as well. Next up, this is actually for the first time on vinyl. This came out. It was right here, and it's one of the best deathcore debut albums. I'm talking about Dead in My Arms by Carnifex. Really good album. This is a first time on vinyl. This is released under Deathly Decibel Records. I heard this was limited. This version was limited to 100 copies. As you can see, got number 45 out of 100. And this vinyl is kind of this colorful kind of splatter right here. And I'm just glad to own this. I think this is like the only album of theirs that was never pressed on vinyl. And when I saw it, I was like, shit, I need to get it. And I'm glad I did when I had the chance to do that. Let's try to get this back in there. Next one, I actually got this from when I saw Aaron Currents. I got the new EP on vinyl. No, they were selling this for like $50. You see, it's signed by the band. For some reason, Chris's signature right there is kind of faint. And this vinyl I think it's just simple black right here. Pretty good EP. Next up, I got a classic death metal debut right here. I'm talking about the self-titled by Deicide, one of the best death metal debuts of all time. I think this is a reissue that came out under Roadrunner Records last year, and this vinyl is kind of this kind of marble-looking vinyl. It's pretty sick. And I'm actually going to see them they're playing with a Behemoth May 16th at the Masquerade with Deicide, Immolation, and Rotting Christ. So hope to see everybody there. And then I also got another thrash metal debut right here, one of my favorites, talking about Bonded by Blood by Exodus. I have to, of course, have the original artwork with the weird conjoined twins and stuff. It's pretty wild. I think this one's a Simple Black. And I'm actually going to see Exodus. They have a new album that came out yesterday. I'm waiting for that to come. But I have this, and I'm actually going to see them in May they're playing with Biohazard. So looking forward to that. Anyway, moving on to the next four from the same band. And I got these all from Discogs. There was a seller, so I decided to pick all of these up. And another band that I have to the collection, well, on the vinyl collection side, I should say, talking about Immolation. I think I don't need to introduce these guys. Classic death metal from New York, been around since the late 80s. First off, we got the Spawn of Possession right here. I think most of these are reissues or represses. And this vinyl is a kind of clear, kind of reddish vinyl right here. And I have Here and After. I think this is a remaster that Metal Blade put out in 2016. I think this one's a Simple Black right here. And then I have Failures for Gods. Yeah, probably almost butchered that. I think this one's a Simple Black right here. And then I also have, this one's, Close to a World Below. And this one, another Simple Black right here. So great band, and I love what they do. And then moving on, to have these three of these albums. I already showcased the cassette and the CD, but I also have two of their other releases Kitty from Canada. I have their second album called Oracle right here. I have their debut right there on vinyl, so which I thought was pretty good. But I decided to try to slowly get the rest of their stuff on vinyl. And this one right here is a kind of this clear kind of magenta looking vinyl. Kind of looks red right here, but if I like hold it, like that's probably just from the light, but when I look up it close, it kind of looks like magenta a little bit. So glad to have that. And I got these two yesterday. Of course, I got the new album Fire, or latest album, which came out in 24. And this vinyl right here is kind of a clear, kind of colorful splatter, orange and pink right there. It's really, really cool. And then the last Kitty vinyl I have is this one, which came out last year. It's Spit for the 25th anniversary. This is actually an EP. I think this is only a vinyl release because I don't think you could. There's really a CD one. It's basically like 4 songs they re-recorded from the Spit album, which usually I think I've mentioned before. I'm not really too big into when like bands like re-record like old material, but this one I thought was pretty good. But the vinyl itself is cool. I'll pull this out. It's a kind of this red with kind of black in the middle and yellow splatter, and the back side is just this. It's just don't play. It's only like one side right here. But it's pretty good right here. I just gotta put this back right in here and put this away. Next up, got another thrash metal debut, and I'm seeing this band at the end of the month with Testament. Feel the Fire by Overkill. Great thrash debut. This reissue that Megaforce put out in 2008. Really good album. I'm stoked to see them again. And then since I mentioned them, I'm actually going to see Testament. I got their album Practice What You Preach. This is a reissue that came out last year under Nuclear Blast Records. And this vinyl itself is a kind of this orangey kind of, or light orange kind of marble vinyl. So that's pretty good. I'll just put this in. And then I also have The Gathering. In my opinion, a very underrated Testament album. This is when Testament kind of went more kind of death metal. They also had like Dave Lombardo playing drums with them. This is a reissue that came out in 2022 under Nuclear Blast Records. And it's kind of a gatefold right here. And this vinyl is Simple Black. I'll just try to get this back in there. Getting it back in there is kind of a pain in the ass. Right there. I'll just leave it right there. Next up, I try to showcase the CD. I have Torn From Existence with Herc in the Darkened Skies. Surprised, like I decided to also get this on vinyl because, I mean, this artwork looks fucking badass. It's such a badass band too. And this vinyl, right here is this kind of clear blue with sort of a little black splatter in the middle. Well, really great band and pretty cool stuff too. Try to get this in there. I have two more vinyls right here. First off, I have a classic album in metalcore right here. One of my favorite metalcore bands. I'm talking about The Oncoming Storm by Unearth. Really great album. I got this from a seller. I forget where it's from, Canada. This one was Simple Black, but I just had to get this. This is really great. In my opinion, I just love Unearth. They're one of the better metalcore bands. And last vinyl to showcase, this is a more modern thrash album. It came out in 2017. Woe to the Vanquished by Warbringer. One of my favorite Warbringer albums. I'm actually going to see them in May at Maryland Death Fest. So everybody's going to that. I think it's a gatefold. Released in 2017 under Napalm Records. That's a Simple Black vinyl right here. So that's pretty much my music collection update for you guys. I should get some more stuff soon, and it's also 2 days before my birthday, so I'll also be doing a vlog as well. Hope there's something there that you will find interesting or want to check out. So thank you guys for watching this, and as always, keep it metal.